Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this cute little trick-or-treat bag. Now you can make this any size you want. This is about a medium size. Now for most of the bags you're going to need 1 to 2 fat quarters depending on how big you make it, and then you'll also need bias tape for the handles. I'm going to be demonstrating how to make this bag on the Baby Lock Verve combination sewing and embroidery machine. If you would like to get more detail on this particular machine, I have a previous tutorial in which I do an overview on all of the features that this machine has. Now let's get started. Before you attach your embroidery unit, make sure you have the power turned off and then put it in and then turn the power back on. Now when you first turn the machine on to the embroidery section, this is the screen that comes up. Remember, the exclusive is a separate menu, and that's where all your beautiful designs are at. I'm just going to show you how to do text, and I don't want to use script. I just want to use these block letters right there. And I want something really bold, so this is the really dark one, so I'm going to press that. You'll notice that you'll see nothing but capital letters here. Well, if you want to use lowercase, make sure you use the arrows listed below here to go forward or back. I'm going to spell out the word trick, so I'm going to look for the letter T, and there it is right here. Press T. Now you would continue spelling out whatever word you want to spell. As I was spelling out the word trick, and once I hit the letter K, it's telling me that my letters are too big for the size of the frame. So I'm just going to press OK, and down here in this lower left-hand corner, you'll see the letters LMS. That stands for large, medium, small. I'm going to press the M so that I can finish spelling out the word trick. I also want to do an apostrophe R at the end of it. Instead of saying trick or treat, when I was a little kid I said trick or treat, so I'm kind of going back to my youth. So in order to get to the apostrophe, you have all these little sub-menus here. I'm going to press this one and use the arrows again until you see an apostrophe, and there it is right there. And then you just go back to your letter menu and continue spelling everything out. All right, this first line here has a number 1 in front of it. That is line 1. Because I want to do 2 lines, because trick or treat will not all fit on one line, so I want to go down a line. So you'll see this arrow that goes down and back to the left. That's your enter key to go to the next line. So just hit that, and then you can go ahead and spell out whatever letter you want to spell. So I'm going to just continue spelling the word treat. I've just finished spelling out the word treat on the second line, but I'm done now. So when you're done, just press the set key in the lower right-hand corner. And then at this time, you can move everything, size it up larger or smaller, turn it, flip it on its side, and bring it upside down. When you are done with everything, then you press embroidery, and then you go ahead and press embroidery again. Whoops, sorry. And there you come up. Now, once you're done with that, you're going to go over and look at the start-stop button. Right now it's red. It will not turn green until you lower your presser foot. So push down on it. You'll notice it turns green. Then you're ready to go. So just press start. I didn't print out the entire thing because you can see this is what it looks like here, trick or treat. But after you finish stitching it, you'll notice these little threads here. So you want to take some small scissors. I like these little curved scissors because they get in nice and close. And you just want to clip all of them off. And you just go along and clip them off close in. When you remove your embroidery unit, make sure you turn the power off first, then slide it off, and then put on your extended table so you have a lot of space to sew with. You can make this any size. Again, I want to restate that. You can also make it one solid piece of fabric all the way around, or you can do two fabrics like I did. So if you want two different fabrics, cut this top piece 10.5 inches wide this way by 5.5 inches high. Your bottom piece, you're going to cut it 10.5 inches wide so it can easily fit this piece, and 20.5 inches long. This piece is one continuous piece that goes all the way around to the back side up to the top. I'm just making a really small bag because I'm making it for my grandson who's just a baby, and by the time Halloween gets here he's going to be a year old. So I didn't want to make his bag too big, but the process is the same no matter what size you make it. So take your top piece of fabric and bring it front side down, and then up here at the top stitch a 1/4 inch seam. Then press the back side of your fabric and then bring it forward like this and press it on the top. I'm just using some old scrap fabric for the lining, so you can use anything you want on the inside. What I like to do is I first like to stitch my front piece first, then place it front side down on top of whatever lining I want, and make sure if it's a print, your lining, then make sure it's facing up so you see the print. Now you bring them together, and I recommend you put a few pins here and there if you're using scissors because your fabric will slip, and then you can cut and get an exact fit all the way around, or use a rotary cutter. After you've got your lining fabric all cut out, then you want to take your bias tape. And when you get your bias tape, you can get this at Joann Fabrics and Crafts, and some Walmarts even sell it too. You'll notice that your bias tape is folded a bunch of times, and this is 1/2 inch wide. Cut whatever length you want for your handles, anywhere from 18 to 20 inches. It really depends on how big a bag you're making. Then after you cut it, then leave it folded and then stitch it closed along that edge all the way along the full length of your handle. Then you want to pin them up at the top 2 to 3 inches from the corner, again depending on the size of the bag, and pin it like this, and then you do the same thing at the other end. I've already got it pinned in here. Then put your other fabric on top and place pins all the way around the edges. And on one side, you want to leave an opening that's large enough for you to turn this inside out when you're done stitching. Now on one side of the opening, I have 2 pins. This is my ending where I'm going to stop stitching. So I'm going to start here, back stitch, stitch around all 4 sides and stop here at the 2 pins, and then back stitch. So again, make sure that you do a back stitch at the beginning and ending of your stitch line, so where the start and stop points are. Okay, and always remove your pins, and here we go. In all 4 corners, you want to trim some of the fabric off. So you want to trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch wide around that corner. Make sure you don't cut into your stitch line. Then go to your opening here, this opening right here, and then begin turning the bag front side out. Here's my opening right here. So reach inside your opening and poke all 4 corners out. Then fold your edges in 1/4 inch. Press the entire bag all the way around the edges to get it nice and flat. Then you want to fold it in half like this. Place pins along this edge and then this edge, and stitch real close to the edge. Make sure you back stitch up at the top and down at the bottom. I've just finished stitching mine along each side, and then the last thing you do is to turn it front side out. And then you're going to reach inside and poke those lower bottom corners out. Well, here it is. Do you think my grandson will like it? I think so, although he's so cute, he probably won't know the difference. But I think Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, and Dad are just gonna love it. Let's take one more look at the larger size bag. One thing I'd like to mention is take your kids or grandchildren or whoever you're making this for to the fabric store with you. Usually midsummer you start to see Halloween themed fabrics. So let them pick out their favorite fabric, and also let them tell you what they would like it to say up here at the top. This way you get them interested in doing sewing and craft projects, I think, which is sometimes a little better than just sitting in a dark room playing on a computer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. And also remember, look for video links to other tutorials, and also remember the link to the first video on the Verve will also be listed down there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button. Don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to click on the bell. I'm Cheryl, and this is a lot of mayonnaise. See you next time, and happy sewing!